So I'm just realizing I never filmed an intro for this. I thought I did, guess I didn't. So I'm in the middle of trying to edit this and I'm like, wait, there's no intro anywhere. So I bought a bunch of stuff online because I have a shopping addiction, and this is pretty much me trying out the stuff that I bought. So enjoy. So I'm using the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, and there's kind of a story behind this. So as we all know, we've all seen the video with George Floyd, and we're all collectively, I've pretty much seen outrage. There's protests going, there's riots happening. Well, I was on Twitter, and somebody that I follow is apparently an affiliate with Milk, and they donated $5,600, I think it was, which was all of what they had earned from their Milk affiliate link in the past 2 months or something. All of that went straight to, I don't remember if it was the Minnesota Freedom Fund or if it was Black Lives Matter. And Milk apparently found out about this and then decided they were going to match any and all donations that this woman was making. So I bought it partially, so I believe it was the Minnesota Freedom Fund would get some of the money. I donated to Black Lives Matter myself. I am currently working on a fundraiser. Yeah, my first impression, it's a little bit tacky, which makes me feel pretty confident in its staying power. I don't typically, I don't actually think I have any like really tacky primers. It doesn't feel silicone-y, and it kind of felt like it melted right into my skin. All right. Also in the MVP set is there's Milk Cooling Stick. I want to put it underneath my eyes. While I don't have any puffiness, I just want to see how that feels. And yeah. So my boyfriend actually bought this for me because Chanel is not cruelty-free, so I will not buy them. But they're Ultra Lip Paint in the shade B10. I got like a sample of it in like a Sephora thing once. I told my boyfriend that I liked it, but that I would never buy it. And so he took it upon himself to buy it for me, which is super nice. So I'm going to take this on the back of my hand. All right, let's hope that that's enough. So typically the way I put on foundation is just like this. You know what I just realized? I don't think I have a concealer. Oh, yep, there's the smell. So I always like to use like a foundation brush to buff my foundation in. I think it gives me better coverage than, let's say, I used a beauty blender or like those foundation brushes. Oh, those horrible foundation brushes. This is actually supposed to be for powder, but I use it for my liquid foundation, obviously. So yeah, the one thing, so I like the finish on this foundation and it matches me very, very well, which typically is not an issue for me because of how friggin' white I am. But there are some foundations, before every foundation went to 40 shade, the lightest shade typically was just a smidge too dark or a smidge too yellow or a smidge too pink for me. So I like how well this matches, obviously. I do not love the smell though, because the smell, it's just like, they're like, how much perfume can we shove in this foundation? And then they shoved all the perfume in the foundation. You feel me? I mean, I definitely like it. It does look almost like though it's seeping into my skin. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see that. Let me get close. But like right here, and I normally don't have that issue. So I'm almost wondering if that's the primer because I'm getting some weird texture. And I don't remember having that the last time I used this, but it's been like a year since I've used this foundation. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna put some concealer on and do some powder and I will be right back. All right, so I put a little bit of Shape Tape underneath my eyes. I powdered underneath my eyes and then I powdered right here and then a little bit on my forehead because I remembered halfway through trying to powder my face that pretty much most of these products are going to be cream products. So now I have the Milk bronzer. Oh, okay. That's good. I guess I'll just take from up here. It's their matte bronzer in the shade Baked. I'm gonna grab a brush and I'm gonna grab a sponge so I can blend this. So as I mentioned before, I'm working on possibly putting together a fundraiser where I would potentially match donations up to a certain amount because obviously there's only so much money that I have and that I'm able to donate. I am trying to be as aware as I possibly can. I have, what is it that I have? I have bought 2 books. One is How to Be Anti-Racist, and one that's actually about the murder of a Black Panther, and how the FBI actually arranged the murder of said Black Panther. So I'm very interested. I'm also going to put a bunch of links down below of places where you can donate to, and you guys can decide what to, if you guys would like to. I'm also going to put, there is a YouTube video that is where all the proceeds that this woman receives, or this person, I'm assuming it's a woman, which is a little bit sexist of me, where all of the proceeds goes towards, I guess they're charities, I guess you would call them charities, like Black Lives Matter, Minnesota Freedom Fund. Although the Minnesota Freedom Fund has officially stopped asking for donations. They said that they would rather you allocate those resources elsewhere because they're so overwhelmed with the donations that they've received thus far. The Brooklyn Bail Fund, along with the New York City Bail Fund, they've stopped asking for donations. And if this video ever gets monetized, all of these proceeds for this video will as well go to whatever charities are still asking for money at that point in time. But what's amazing is I woke up to the news this morning. Minnesota has filed a civil rights lawsuit against the Minneapolis Police Department. And I'm gonna contour my nose, I think. And I'm almost wondering if that's because of what Anonymous posted, because Anonymous is back in the game, bizarrely enough. And then, or if it's because of other things that came to light, but my assumption is that it's because of what Anonymous posted. Although, what is it? I saw something, I saw a meme that's not really related to this, but it was like, it was a guy that looks like Santa, and it was like, fuck it, none of you get anything this year. And honestly, I feel like that's how this year's going. I really do. I feel like everything's so insane. But all of the officers that were involved in George Floyd's death have been arrested. Now we have to pray. We have to sit and we gotta pray for a freaking conviction. And then Breonna Taylor's, it's not bad. Breonna Taylor's case just got reopened, which is awesome. I'm really freaking happy about that. All right, so now I'm gonna take this. I had a lot of Milk makeup. I didn't even realize how much Milk makeup I bought. So the Milk makeup Glimmer, oh, the color is Glimmer. It's the Glow Oil Lip and Cheek. I'm just gonna grab a brush for this. So I like to use like a stipple brush. Now I have the e.l.f. small stipple brush, which I've literally had forever. You can see some of the friggin' fibers coming right on up from it. But I don't really use this that often because I tend to not use cream blushes. So we're gonna just stipple this. And lately I've found that I really like wearing like a lot of blush, So I've been kind of putting it here and then going up to my nose a little, just to give me like a more naturally flushed. And I also feel like it kind of helps lift my my cheek. I'm gonna do the other side and not bore you with it. So I also got, because this is a cream blush, I want to set it with a powder. I have 4 other blushes that I bought. So I'm going to swatch each one on the back of my hand. I have 2 from NYX. I have 2 from ColourPop. So this is the NYX Sweet Matte Sweet Cheeks in the color Red Riot. Oh, that's some pigmented stuff up in her. This one is the shade Fig, which I've used a little bit. And I like the shade. It definitely doesn't come off that pigmented on the cheeks. This is ColourPop Thanks for the Memories, which I literally bought because of the Fall Out Boy reference. Ooh, I like that. That's nice. I think that's gonna probably be the color that we go with. You can see that I've swatched it. And then I've also used this one, and this is a really nice color, but this is a little bit more cream. But it's like a cream to powder. And I love this shade. This is the shade Drop of a Hat. And I like how it's like iridescent. I think I'm gonna go with this shade just because I think it's gonna make this the least like, oh, she's definitely wearing like a crap ton of blush. So I'm using, because like I said, I'm not like a shopaholic or anything, this brand new blush brush that I got. I literally bought it off Amazon because, so I bought, I was like 16, I think. That's like around the time that I discovered Visa gift cards. I bought a set of makeup brushes because that was also when I like first got into makeup. I bought a set of makeup brushes on Amazon for, I think it was like $20, and I got like 32 makeup brushes, and the brushes lasted me a good 4 or 5 years. So I was like, let me grab more from Amazon because those didn't do me dirty the last time, and these are okay. So now taking, and I can already tell this is gonna be way too dark for my skin. Let's just swatch it. That looks like it's probably, you can see right where my self tanner is lifting. I'm so sorry, but like right there is this highlighter. So this is in the shade Blitzed. So let's see how it looks on the side of my cheek. Oh, it actually doesn't look too dark in this light. I'm shook. Huh. But I also think that it's because this is like, because of the blush I have. Let's see, how does it look on the nose and on the lip? Because it's pretty much, yeah, it's a little bit dark. How I can immediately tell is if it looks even like slightly dark on the lip or on the nose, that typically means it's going to be too dark of a highlight for me. And we'll go like a little bit there. I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it, but I feel like I absolutely need to powder my face. So I'm going to do that. Spray some setting spray, and I will be. So I got the Carli Bybel Anastacio Beverly Hills palette, and I think it's really pretty. I'm literally obsessed with the shade Mandala. I think it's absolutely stunning. So I'm probably gonna do something with that. I have not figured it out yet, so y'all are just gonna have to friggin' bear with me for this. I think I'm gonna dip into the shade. I'm not wearing any eye primer. Let me put some primer on my eyeballs. I'm gonna be right back. So I also put the milk lip and cheek thing on my lips. It tastes weird. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So it tastes a little weird, but whatever. So I think the first shade I'm gonna go into is gonna be Chai, because I think that's gonna be like a good transition shade. So just in my crease. So how's everybody else though faring with this whole protests and riots, Black Lives Matter, and there's so much craziness happening on the friggin' news? Like at first we were saying it was the protesters that were rioting, and now it's coming out that apparently it's the police officers and white supremacists that have been showing up to riot. Like, how do we feel about this? Because like, I don't know, I'm pretty outraged. I'm pretty much permanently like in a pissed off mood. Like I'm always angry about something. I'm like a very happy-go-lucky person. Like I'm always happy and I'm always smiling and I'm always like cheerful and I have like so much energy. But like it's really weird because I'm also like, you could say just like one little thing to me and I'm like, ooh, oh yeah, no, we don't talk about that. Like I am exhausted. That was my laptop, by the way, telling me that I need to plug it in. But I'm exhausted all the time because I'm always feeling like I have to fight for somebody's rights. Like even if it's like with my parents and my dad makes an insensitive comment about women not knowing how to drive, and I'm like, is that the best idea when you have 2 daughters? You know what I mean? Like it's exhausting out here. All right. So I'm gonna take a slightly smaller little crease brush. I'm gonna go into the shade Bybel, which is like, it's such a pretty mauve. The shades in this palette are so pretty, and like, oh wow, look at how those are catching the light. Like I'm looking at the viewfinder and oh, it's gorgeous. So, yeah, and then how is everybody, who's out there protesting? What are your thoughts on what you've seen in the protest? Who's out there not protesting, and what are you doing, and like how are you feeling about the protesters and like everything? You know, I saw one of my friends posted on Facebook saying something about how like Facebook's been so sad the past couple days and that they needed to take a break because of how sad it was. And like, I get it, you know, take a break for your mental health. But to me, like, as a white person, I can't imagine what it must be like to actually face racism. Like, I'm Latina and Puerto Rican. I deal with microaggressions, nothing too crazy stuff, and brush off my shoulder. But like, I can't imagine getting pulled over by the police and being scared that you're not gonna make it out of there alive. Like, I have a fear of getting arrested, right? So I've been pulled over once, and then I was in a car accident in which I got a ticket, and then I was involved in a hit and run where I had to call the police. And every time I had a full-blown panic attack because I'm so scared that the police are gonna think that I did something wrong and arrest me. Like, I can't imagine the police thinking I did something wrong and then killing me. You know, that's such a terrifying thought to have. And I don't think a lot of people who are posting things like, oh, this is so sad, what's happening? Like, yeah, it's sad, but it's the reality of the situation. And it's just, like, I can't imagine that. All right, I'm gonna go in to my crease again with like a real tight brush in the shade Bowie, which is like this darkest shade, and I'm just gonna kind of tap that right there. I don't think I'm really even gonna blend it too much, but like, I don't know, you know, as an outsider looking in, I'm so happy that I'm an outsider looking in and I'm not facing the reality of the situation. Like, it must be so incredibly terrifying. So anyways, I feel like though it's just so crazy, everything. Like, I've seen videos of police officers, what was it, in Charlottesville, North Carolina? Is that where it was? But of police officers attacking a medic's tent. So I'm taking like a kind of fluffy brush. I can't even tell you where I got this from because I got it from beauty school. So I don't even know. And I'm just picking up mandala. You know what? I actually want to try something with this palette. So I'm going to grab my glitter primer and use that on the other eye and see what that looks like. All right, so I just did that. Now let's see how that looks over here. And if that makes a difference. I actually think I immediately noticed a difference. So I think maybe I should be using glitter primers over here. Huh. You know what? I kind of want to test out because I don't think I've used the shade. Actually, I think I have. OA. So it was I saw, oh, what did I see? I saw a clip from one of the protests in Puerto Rico. And this was months and months and months ago, when it came out that the governor of Puerto Rico was actually had withheld aid from Puerto Rico in order to get like money or something from Trump or like the States or something. I don't quite remember exactly the whole situation because it feels like 500 years ago. And I remember when that was like the big story. At least it was a really big story for me at the time. And I think it was a relatively big story in general. And then COVID hit and we were like, oh my God, COVID. And you know, and now it feels like that was eons ago. Like, just, oh my gosh. So what I actually just did is I went on Amazon and I bought, I'm gonna dip into the shade Libra. I'm a Libra. Huh. I didn't realize that's the name of the shade. I went on Amazon and I bought myself like a diary because there's no way that this year is not going down in history, and might as well document it for my future kids. Screw it. I don't care. Give them the, for whatever this turns out to be. This is definitely going down in history. This is insanity. This year is insane. All right, so I'm taking an angled brush. I'm getting this a little bit wet. So what I actually did was I sprayed, which I probably shouldn't have done. I sprayed right into it. I probably should have sprayed the brush first, but now I know for next time. So I'm going to just line this top lid. So obviously, and I do want to do this as a disclaimer, I know that this is not going to be a waterproof mascara or eyeliner because it is activated by water. I'm not really a big fan of waterproof anything. It's just so scary to me because there's one, was it an eyeliner, was it a mascara? Might have been lipstick. That it was supposed to be waterproof and it stayed on me for days. I think I might have actually had a reaction to it. Oh, you know what it was? It was was a gel eyeliner. It was a Wet n Wild Fergalicious gel eyeliner, which was phenomenal, by the way. But I remember I went on vacation and I did this little, I'm gonna call it a gay wing. I did like a rainbow eyeliner look, and then I used that underneath. And oh my god, I jumped in the pool. Like, I was just messing with my makeup, but I was on vacation, right? And I jumped in the pool where we were staying. And I was expecting my makeup to go everywhere, and I was like totally prepared for it to have melted off. And I remember my sister being like, what eyeliner is that? And I was like, oh, it's this. And she goes, it's a really good eyeliner. How much was it? And I was like, I don't know, like $3. And she's like, wow, it's still on your face. I was like, yeah, I've cried in it. But it's also really scary, I think, if I'm crying, like if I'm sobbing hysterically and my mascara isn't budging, like, to me, I don't know. That's a mascara wand from obviously an old mascara that I've had. I clean them and then I'll use them for things basically like this. So I use them when like there's a mascara, right, that and I don't like the brush, but I like the formula. So like this is a brush that I really like because I like having short bristles. I think that it's super helpful for the types of eyelashes I have. And we are going to curl my eyelashes. So let's just do this one, right? I just think that it works out better for my personal preference, right? So I have like 3 different ones, and then I was going to, because I hadn't used them in a hot minute, I was gonna just donate them to the place that takes the mascara wands for animals. And then I found out that they take at certain times during the year, because when they take them in, they get so overwhelmed with donations that they only need to accept donations. I think it's like 2 or 3 times a year that they accept them. So it's so crazy to me. Also, can we talk about the fact that it's June already? Like, I want to be like, where did the time go? But I definitely know where it went, because COVID sucked. We're going to do the other side now, and we're gonna use the milk on this side. I actually don't hate how this looks. It's definitely a brown mascara. I was kind of dumbly, when I ordered it, I was kind of hoping that it might be just, you know, like a darker brown, but it's definitely like brown. Like, it's brown. Like, it's brown. You know, like when I had my natural hair color, I think is a little bit darker than the actual shade of what this mascara is. Okay. So my mascara, not my mascara, I gotta tell y'all, I'm all over the place right now, I'm sorry. But I had my boyfriend do one of those, like, you buy the lash lift kit, which I know I've advocated against doing that in the past, and I still advocate against it. But I really thought I was gonna be able to do it myself, but I'm a little bitch. So my boyfriend did it for me, and ever since then, my eyelashes used to never want to be curled, ever. But now that they actually do, and it is the craziest thing to be able to see my eyelashes, because before I used to put like mascara on really just to get them a little bit darker. Because no matter how I curled them, no matter what I did with them, you would never be able to tell that I actually did anything. And now, like, you can, and it's so insane to me. So I'm just gonna take a look, obviously. So I think I prefer a brown. Okay, so I don't think the brown mascara fits with this look. I don't think I'd hate it for every day. As you can see, this one definitely looks longer than these, but that's also because this is brown, I think. But these eyelashes, I definitely think look longer than these. But I definitely I don't hate it, is what I'm trying to say. The verdict on these products, I don't hate anything. I don't think that I'm gonna return anything. Oh, I totally forgot. I have Fenty Beauty's, what is this called? Stunna Lip Paint, and this is the shade Uncuffed. I gotta say, I actually really like this dofa applicator because it's not like anything I've ever seen. And this I've also used and tried, and I don't hate this. I definitely like it, but it definitely takes like a minute for it to dry, and I have a lip gloss, so I'm gonna give this a minute to dry. But I'm gonna talk about everything. I definitely like it. So I like the Carli Bybel palette more than I thought I would. I'm not disappointed with the shades. I'm not disappointed with the shadows. I'm not disappointed with how they blend. I remember when I bought the Anastacio Aurora palette, I was very disappointed with that one because I felt like they blended to the point where they've got muddy, and I don't really see that with these. I like these. I want to try out, I'm gonna swatch Moo, and then I'm gonna swatch Aurora. Oh, I like those. Those are pretty. You can see that. Those are pretty. I definitely like the palette. Overall, 100%. The Chanel foundation, I can still smell a little bit of that perfume. It's not quite like a rosy scent, but it's definitely floral. It is like a lot. The good news is I won't have to wear perfume when I wear this foundation. I'm still pretty impressed by how well it matches me. I definitely like this mascara. I'm pleasantly surprised with this mascara. I like the Milk Primer. I think that the Chanel foundation is still just a little too fragrant, but I don't think it's going to be a real big deal because I have other foundations, so I don't think that I'm going to be using this all that much. It is still weird that it gave me all that texture, so I am going to try it with a different primer and see if maybe it was the primer. Let's see. I'm also pleasantly surprised with this highlighter. Definitely like it. I only have like a little bit. Mostly just shiny, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it's really the foundation. Oh, let's put this lip gloss on because this lipstick is definitely dry. So this is supposed to be plumping. Let's see if my lips get real irritated from it. I put way too much on. I would like the Cake mascara more if it was black. But that's on me. I made the personal choice. I think the black was out of stock or back ordered. And they said that the back order would be once COVID blew over, whereas brown was still in their warehouse. And I was like, I want to try this mascara like yesterday. The blushes, I liked the ColourPop blush. I don't know if I'm ever really going to use the Milk one because it's so shiny and it didn't even really feel great on my lips. The primer was interesting. It kind of reminded me of the Color FX Hydro Blur primer. It kind of reminded me of that a little bit, and how it kind of just melted into my skin. I am actually pleasantly surprised that none of these things I hate. Typically when I buy such a bulk of product, there's normally one thing that I sit there and I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. I have to return it or I have to give it away. Maybe this lip gloss I'm not super fond of. It looks like it's moving around the lipstick, which is normal, but I don't know. It's very minty to the point where like I feel the mint in the back of my throat, and I don't know if that's because I've accidentally swallowed lip gloss or what. I'm definitely dewy. I like the finish of the foundation. I am not super used to doing like a cream contour, but you definitely can see that right there, which is nice. So I don't hate it. I don't know if I would necessarily use it all the time. And it's especially unfortunate that it came to me a little bit broken. Obviously things happen, and overall pretty good first impression on all of these things. I am going to put those links down in the description. Please donate to them. I am going to put the YouTube link down below that I promised I would put, and as per always, my Instagram handles. However, I would prefer you donate than do anything like that. If you would like to find out about fundraisers that I am trying to start soon, please let me know and just reach out to either of my Instagrams and just shoot me a DM and I will let you know. Nothing is set in stone yet, but yeah. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I hope that we go back to work soon. My state's supposed to start opening up soon, which is really exciting, but it's also really nerve-wracking. So just everybody please be careful out there. All right, love you. Bye.